and welcome back to Makeup Mandala. On today's video, we are starting a series of 20 minutes or less makeup looks. Because if you're like me, then you wanted to start your New Year's off with a bang, meaning you need a look that's not going to take too much time out of your day so you can go fit in all those new resolutions. So the first thing you want to make sure that you do is set out all your makeup before you start. And the reason I say that is because I know I have trouble when I'm trying to think of what I want to do when I need to be somewhere is I take 10-30 minutes to find what I'm doing. So if you figure out what you want to do before you do your makeup, it'll shave so much time off. So the first things I have out is I have concealer, I have a beauty blender, I have my powder, my basics. I have my base products such as bronzer, blush, an eyeshadow palette, primer because we are going to be using that. Any lip products you're going to use, and essentials such as eyelash curlers, mascara, brushes, those things. So that's everything I actually do have in front of me. So whatever you choose to use is going to be totally different, but hopefully following the steps of this video. So let's get into it. First things first is you're going to want to put your hair up because we know if we get makeup in our hair, we're probably not going to end up going where we're going. Once it's all put up, you're going to want to start off with a primer that's actually very moisturizing, soft, and for people who aren't a beauty guru, kind of more liquidy than creamy, if that makes any sense. Because when you're going through the day, you want to wear something that's comfortable. You want to feel comfortable, not like you're constantly packed with makeup. So this is definitely a big best recommendation. Starting off with just a couple rubs and dubs. Next, you're gonna want to go in with concealer. Now, the reason why I've chosen concealer instead of foundation is because concealer is much more lightweight, and if you place it properly, it covers just as much and looks just as flawless as foundation. So that is actually my next guidance tip, is where to place your concealer. Now, of course, we all know we're gonna put it under the eyes, we're gonna put it on acne spots, but a big thing people don't know about is discoloration. Now, everybody has discoloration in their face, whether they want to admit it or not. So as you can see, I will just point this out now, I have big discoloration around my mouth, meaning the skin is much tanner than it is on big parts of my face, such as my cheeks or my nose or between my brows. I also have it right above my brows, right there. And when you cover those up, you get a very blank canvas kind of look, and it gives your face the ability to highlight your good features, such as your eyes or your lips or your jawline or whatever it is. So starting it with the eyes. Now, a quick tip when applying concealer, everybody thinks, oh, that's such an easy step, you just swipe it on and go. Well, there's actually a great technique that you can use to actually give your face, lifting it. It's actually pretty cool. So what you want to do is you want to place your concealer, of course, right there. But when you place it on the outer edge, instead of creating a triangle or above the eye, you actually want to angle it up. And what that does is it carries this up without hitting this cheekbone, meaning it's not making this flat, it's making this up. So that's my best explanation for it, but it's a great tip. And then, of course, once that's all done and finished, you want to go in with any regular face powder that you have. Anything's fine. I know some people, they recommend different powders for different things, which makes sense, but if you're just doing a regular day look, anything works. Alrighty, so once we have the initial base done, ready and set, looking good, we're actually want to go in with some bronzer and blush. Now, surprisingly, not a lot of people know about bronzer, and it is a great tool to use, especially when you're not looking to do heavy glam every day, because it's like facial powder, except it's brown, and if you match it to your skin tone, it's a great thing to warm up your face and bring out the features that you have without looking too chiseled. So going in with an angled brush, you can tell, this is by the brand Pacifica, by the way. Love them. This isn't sponsored or anything, just shout out to them. Taking an angled brush, I'm actually going to be going into this powder, bronzer, and I'm going to be keeping it very on the low, further back on my face, because when you bring your bronzers and blush too close to the face, you end up looking like Lady Gaga. So, she's cute, but not today. We're going to be going in, keeping this angled up right under the cheekbone and the top bit a little bit above. And circular motions, we're just going to start, angle our face down and keep it high and angled, not bringing it too close. Now, another tip with this is when you want to do Now, a common mistake with this, and because bronzer can get like muddy fast when you're trying to, especially when you're trying to go quick, you just like apply it, right? Well, if you don't want to look muddy, take the time to angle your brush and keep it higher on the cheekbone. When you apply it, it almost feels like you're applying your bronzer where you're supposed to apply your highlighter, if that makes sense. It's a tiny bit lower than that. And what that does is it lifts your face. And along with the concealer technique, it's gonna look like you've done a lot more than you really have. Okay, and once you're happy with the cheeks, you're gonna start moving on to other features. Now, of course, everybody has different features, so really you just wanna pick and choose the ones that you want to stand out the most, whether you want the appearance of a skinnier nose or a sharper jawline. I'm gonna be going over the jaw, the chin, a little bit of the lips, and the forehead. So if those don't apply to you, you can skip this bit, or if they do, keep watching. So going into the jaw, I'm of course have my angled brush, and I want the longer bit to face my chin, because for me, I have a bit of a stronger chin from my mom. And so I have this kind of like almost dent. I'll just call it a dent. And I'm actually gonna start there because when you go over your chin and your jaw, again, it looks so muddy and you don't want that. So starting right about where that ends, gonna have fast motions and you stay a little bit under the bone because for this one, you don't wanna go a little bit higher because again, it's gonna look too much. Now switching the angle of your brush, like from down to up, is really gonna help applying, especially when you're new to makeup and you don't know how to like rub or do anything like that. Angled brushes and like learning how to use the type of brush is really gonna help. So like this bit, I want it angled down. For right here, for a more chiseled look, I'm actually gonna face my brush up, staying in the same spot, but going right down. And of course you can always blend and blend, and just like that, done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Now, moving on to the nose, I'm actually going to start at my eye right here and drag it down because that's gonna really give, when you just do the nose, it draws a lot of focus on the nose instead of what you want is the effect of like definition. So working with my features, I'm going to start up at the eye right here and just slowly bring down. You don't want to stay like packing on the eye and then packing on the nose. You want to keep it in one simultaneous movement. Again, switching my brush to where it's facing this way. Going to, again, bring it up through the eye and into the crease. And then going under the nose to give that spotlight right there. We are moving on to blush. So I'm going with a rounder brush. I actually switch up which brushes I use, so I'm now onto this one. But really any brush works for blush. That's in the range of blush brushes. Anyway, so dipping into that. Now, as we all know, blush can either make or break a look. And when you're trying to go fast in a 20-minute or less look, you want to keep it as safe as possible, in my opinion. So the safest thing is angled up, so not on the cheeks. This is where people misunderstand. It's when they put blush straight on the cheeks right here, you look like a doll, like a child, like it's been painted on. It's too much. So when you're an adult, but you want like that kind of just like angel look, you're going to slowly apply, starting right under the eye, keeping it close to the bronzer, which we just applied, never sweeping down, always applying up, and you're just going to keep it low and apply it right there. Okay, so when you're happy with your base, you're actually gonna go in with some highlighter. Now, the key to highlighter and it not being too much, because I know we've all had that moment where we're doing our makeup and we finish it with some highlighter and we're like, I look like a drag queen, like what did I just do to myself? You're gonna actually pick a highlighter that is warmer and closer to your skin tone, because when we go in with a cool kind of highlighter, it's more of a nighttime look. And when you want a daily thing, a nice warm, soft glow, I'm obsessed. So going in with a highlighter brush, I'm going to take a little bit of this almost kind of, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but champagne kind of warm color. And whatever you choose is fine, but this works for me. And so you're actually just going to stay right here, like right on the tip of your cheekbone, because when you bring it, again, same rule that applies to your bronzer and your blush, just keep the same rule going. Never bring it close into the cheeks. It always looks too much. Staying just right on there, on that cheekbone. See, it's giving my cheek a nice soft glow that looks almost natural, but is nice and it's pretty, and you look like you're like ready to go. Your cheeks, you're gonna go in on the tip of your nose and a little bit on the bridge. Now, whether you do this step is up to you or not, whether you're into that or if you're not, I am, so I'm gonna do that. I'm going to apply just on the tip of my chin, just a tip, so it's like if a camera's hitting me, it's just the highlight. Taking a little bit more. I'm going to stay close to my brows, almost like on top of them, in this kind of little T-zone area, and I'm going to just lightly brush it. Never dipping back in for this part, because when you put too much on your forehead, I don't even think I have to explain that one, it just doesn't look good. Okay, picking up just a little bit of that highlighter and actually applying it with my finger on the inner corner and a little bit on the eyelid. Again, going back in with your finger, you're gonna go and apply some just under that brow bone right there. Again, don't bring this too in, keep it right here on that bone. So you can have like, it brings back some definition to your eyes because they kind of got lost in all this face business. Okay, moving on to the brows. Now, a very important item to have in your everyday makeup routine is a brow wand. When you're able to brush out your brows and clean them up and frame them, it gives a very much more glammed feel to your face. And they're like $2 at Walmart, so I say go pick one up. We're gonna start in with the brow color. Now, something that I've always struggled with my big brows is that when I try and use pencils or like liquid or any of these other products, they always come out looking like too thick and too much, and they look weird. So a great product if you have thick brows or if you're just not into too much makeup and it takes like 2 seconds, is brow powder. Because you literally just take this angled brush right here, pick up any colors, and I usually mix mine just a bit, and you just go in and fill any holes or angles that you'd like, and you're able to smooth it out with your finger or a brush, and it just gives you this very, like, the difference. This looks more full, but it's not too much. It works. Alrighty, so once that is all done and final, now to the bit that I know you've all been waiting for, eyeshadow. So when sticking to eyeshadow, you want to go with some very neutral colors. So like light browns, maybe a little bit of a champagne shimmer, that kind of thing. And for this video, you're only actually going to need 3 brushes. So you want to go in with a medium fluffy brush, a compact round brush, and a big fluffy brush for easy blending. So starting off, I'm going to be using a palette called Proof is in the Pudding, and as you can see, this is my shade range. I would aim for something close to this. Now, depending on your skin color, this is going to change, but if you can kind of see what I'm talking about neutral shades. So I'm actually going to be going in with the lightest brown shade and that medium fluffy brush. Knock off the excess. And I'm actually going to be sticking to the outer corner of the eye. When you try and drag your eyeshadow into the inner corner, it makes it too much. So you want to focus on the outer edges, and then you're going to come in here and lighten this up, giving your natural features a chance to shine through. So starting on the outer corner, I'm going to start in by just lightly packing on this color. Now, keeping the brush just flat against my skin, I'll bring it a little bit on the inner corner to give some definition, but staying very close to the crease, just tapping motions. Once you're happy with that, you're going to be going in with a slightly darker shade called Bread Pudding. And again, with that medium fluffy brush, keeping this one really to the outer corner, but close to the crease. So you're not starting right here or right here. You're staying really close. Your brush should be touching your eyelashes is what I'm trying to say. And you're going to keep it a little bit right there, bringing it only a little bit closer once majority of the color is stamped on. And you're just gonna keep stamping. Taking that really big fluffy brush that we were talking about earlier, and in circular motions, you're gonna start on the outer corner and you're gonna slowly blend in, meeting the tip of your eyelashes and the crease as far as blending. Now, you want to do a mixture of motions that are just easy to get down, keeping circular, as I was just showing, going across the eye, and of course, keeping close to the crease, back and forth, which I'm sure a lot of people already know. Now, a great tip to making sure that this look does not get too much is when you are blending and you're going back and forth and you're doing circular motions, you're always blending in. So what I mean by that is when you're doing circular motions, you're bringing the eyeshadow in. You're bringing it in, going down or going across. You're never going like out. When people blend out, that's usually because they want the outer bit to fade. When you want that to fade, you're gonna go without it stretching across your face, is you wanna grab the powder and bring it down. Grab the powder and bring it down. And what that does is it's bringing product down closer into your eye. So it's taking away from the top, fading it out, but it's also keeping more product down. Okay, and again, once you're all happy with how that looks, adding either more eyeshadow or keeping it the same, up to you, you're gonna go in with that thin, compact, round brush we were talking about earlier, and a usually, like, I would say 3 times darker shade than the first one, so like this. That level of darkness for whatever palette you're using, kind of, hopefully you can use that as an example. So I'm gonna go in and I'm going to grab just a little bit, making sure that I don't have too much. So the product on the brush, you can see that is the brush and that is how much eyeshadow should appear on your brush. It shouldn't be like down. So you're not packing the color on the brush, because when you put it on the eye, you're gonna be like, what just happened? Taking that brush, you're gonna go in under your eye, keeping it very close to the outer corner, not dragging in. We want this to stay on the outer corner, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But first, get very close to your lashes. A quick back and forth motion, never meeting anything if you're looking forward. Where your pupil ends, straight in the middle if you're looking forward, that's how far you should go, never further. Now, before blending that out, you're not gonna double dip in any more color. What you're gonna do is when you dip the first time, that should last you both of these eyes and the first top bit of this one. And what I mean by that is you're gonna take this brush, almost kind of like angling your face this way, starting out here, down here, placing your brush, closing your eye, and bringing it up into the crease. So not up, like out, or on top, into the crease. So almost kind of close your eye a bit, picking up this product, and bringing it up. Okay, so now that you've brought that up just on the outer corner, this looks off. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab that first medium blending brush that's fluffy, and you're actually going to, not carrying this color, so you're not starting here, you're actually gonna start right here and start blending this, just quick, fast, like front and forward movements, back and forth, I meant, sorry, of blending it in. Okay, so what you've now just done is you've kept the intensity that we've created, but you've blended it in to where it looks like it fades to it, which looks phenomenal. But I know what some of you are wondering, okay, this still looks like a lot of color, it kind of look a little weird. So you're actually gonna take that big blending brush and you're gonna go up on the top, still carrying this color, and you're gonna start rounding this out, moving a little further away from the crease. So like right above the crease kind of thing. Just keeping it very round, right above. Keeping your movements from blending up here to also down here, because you don't want to like start blending this out and look all smooth and you still have this intense bit and it messes up. So make sure you do a good variation. Okay, so once you're happy with that, you're gonna go in and we're gonna start adding some shimmers. So the thing is you can actually use your highlighter, because I know a lot of people, when you're on the go, you don't have time to open several palettes and do this and do that. So you can use your highlighter and it will match the look much better. But for me today, because I have a little bit more shimmers at my disposal, I'm gonna be going in with kind of a combination of this more champagne color and this warmer color. And just rubbing on my finger, because this part does not need to be fancy. Just taking both, and you're gonna start and you're just gonna stay on the lid and just go across, but then going right above the lid and just blending. So you're just gonna smear this, keeping it to your eye. Eyes are officially finished, and as you can see, that highlight gives the eyes so much more of a highlight and kind of more definition to the deeper bits. And so your next thing is just gonna be curling your lashes and applying mascara like always. Okay, so once you're finished with your eyes, you're actually gonna go in with your lips. Now, starting off with a lip liner, I'm going to quickly line my lips. Okay, so when I've just done a quick line around my lips, this looks very intense. So what you want to do is you actually just want to take your finger, always pulling upwards and in, never out, because that'll smear it. You're going to take that line and smudge it in towards the lip. And what you have just done is you've kept the definition of the lip liner created, and you've just given your lips a bit more of a kind of blended color. So you're just gonna add a gloss on top and you're done. And that actually looks like you put in 10 times the work than you actually did. And that is your 20-minute or less makeup look. I literally timed it. It took me 16 minutes. So I know for sure you can be out the door in less. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time on Mandala Makeup. Bye, everyone.